We are going to start with working with multiple images. A single Docker, a single Docker host can store many images and run many containers side by side, each fully isolated from the others. So it will be like whenever you are going to create a multiple images and multiple containers with the images, it can be used. Everything will be isolated from the other. It won't reflect like whatever you change from one image, it won't reflect in the another image, another container. So it will be very isolated. For example, in the real time, we use web server, database, and application server running all that at a time once. So it will be having different image, different container for web server, application server, and database. Like that, we are going to use. So why should we use multiple images? The enterprise applications are usually built using multiple services rather than one large application. So we are going to use a multiple services like part by part using a instead of a large application. For example, if you use any e-commerce application like Amazon, Flipkart, it may consist of the methods like customer browser and then Nginx web server, then Spring Boot API, then MySQL database. The process, it will go step by step. When the user has clicked the browser, it will go to the web browser, and then it will go to the API. Through API, they are going to get the data of database, and it will reflect in the your browser, your window. So in that one, the image, how it will work, the Docker image, the Docker host will be having multiple images like Nginx, MySQL, and Node image. So Nginx will be web server and MySQL is database, and Node image is the application container. So these three are the different containers we are going to create. So let me pull the three different images from Docker Hub. Let me connect to my Docker instance. So now we are going to pull Docker image directly from the Docker hub. So the public image, I am going to pull it. So this is the Docker hub, and you can search like Nginx. So this is a command we can use, Docker pull Nginx, and the version we can use anything. If you don't use version, it will automatically pull with the tag latest. So I am going to check for Docker images. As of now, I have multiple images. Docker PS, there is no running container. So I will stop. I will remove the images from the scratch once again. Docker RMI, Nginx, Alpine, Nginx latest. So to remove the image, we are going to use the command RMI. Docker ps-a. First we have to delete the containers, respective images. Docker rm. Now it is deleted. Because previously it was using, my web app was using Nginx image. That's why I am unable to delete images. Now, so I don't want to take all the storage. So I will delete the images. Okay, fine. Now, so there is a container docker rm. So I'm going to delete it once again. Fine. Docker images. Now it is not available. So now I am going to pull the Docker Nginx image by using Docker pull Nginx. So it will pull the latest using default tag latest. It will pull it. Then once again I will run the command to pull MySQL. So MySQL database I am going to pull it. So MySQL 8. So you can check it. MySQL, which is the version we have available, that one also you can check it. MySQL Docker official image. So this is the one. So Oracle Linux 9, this one. So here we have taken MySQL 8. So Docker pull MySQL 8. It is downloading. Now it's done. If I check Docker PS, sorry, Docker images, you can see MySQL 8, Nginx latest. Both it is pulled. Now I am going to pull the node. Docker pull node 18 Alpine. We have already there, I think. Node.js demo. We have created this one, not pulled one. So I'm going to create one. Like I will pull one image. Docker pull node 18 F1 Alpine. Let's see. Node colon 18 hyphen alpine. Okay. Now it will pull the node with the version 18 alpine. So download a newer image for 18 alpine. So let's see Docker images. See now this one is created. These three are just now we have pulled from the Docker public repository, Docker Hub. Now we are going to run a container from each on different host ports. So we have three different images and three different containers I am going to run. Before that, let me check if there is any containers running. Docker ps-a top containers. So my first app and my first app. So this port will be different. Let me check. Docker start. So if I check status, so we have a command. Where is the exact command? Start, stop. Same like that we can check the status as well. Docker ps container is running here. So it is on 301 3001. So if you go here, okay, this is an problem, no problem. We can go with the other containers. We can create it with the in the 8080 port. So I'll go to my multiple images. So I'm going to create a new container with the image, whatever we have pulled. So Docker images. So what it is going to do, Docker run hyphen d hyphen name. It's going to detached mode, and the name is web I have given, and hyphen p 8080 port. We are going to take it for the Nginx. So we have to log in by using IP address and 8080. So I'm running. So Docker run is completed. If I check Docker ps, so currently 8080 is running. So if you want to start and stop, then we use Docker start and Docker stop. Okay. Now I'm going to check same 8080 whether it is working or not. So welcome to Nginx is working. Now again I am going to do Docker run for the MySQL database. So here what we are doing, Docker run hyphen d detached mode name database. Here I have given the name of the container database hyphen e for the login purpose we use. MySQL root password is password. So this one we can give anything hyphen p 3306 MySQL 8. So if I check again Docker ps, so the database also executed 3001. Sorry, uh, 3306. So 3306, the port is not enabled. We have to go security, security groups, and edit inbound rules. Add rule 3306. See, if you click on here, in the real time, how we are going to set up the this particular one security groups for MySQL. Normally we do custom TCP, but for MySQL and all, if you search the MySQL or Aurora DB, by default it will be 3306 only. So like that also you can set up the access. So 3306. Now let's check once again Docker PS. So this one is still not running. It is taking time. Okay. Meanwhile, we can proceed further for another one. Docker run. It is a image which we have created previously. Same image. I am going to run it. Docker PS. Docker image. So this particular Nginx latest is done. MySQL is done. Now Node 18 alpha in. So here we can use first image 1.0 also we can use, or else we can use Node.js 1.0. This also we can use. So if I check Docker ps Node.js demo 4.0 I have taken. Okay, yesterday it was running, not today one. Container name app is already running. So Docker ps-a. So let me delete this one. Docker rm Docker rm. This one also I will delete. 2.0 Docker ps-a. Okay, MySQL, Node.js demo, and Nginx. So 4.0 is top Docker. Now let's check 3001. Same I'm going to take. I will run 3. See, this one also running fine now. So multiple images at a time it is running. So these two are running fine, but when it comes to database we can't run it in the browser. That's why we are unable to run it. Only here you can check it. All three containers are running. One is MySQL container, this one, and next is Nginx one, next is Node one. All the three different containers are running at a time. In the real time also we will be having different container for each microservices, like each three-tier application. One is web server, another is application server, and then next is database. Three will be different. It will be there. Okay, now we can run the command docker. So same command we can provide the database. Database. The container name database is already existing. So Docker rm database stop database. Docker run database once again. Link so we have to run the image first. Docker run -d -name, the database I have given, then -link.
Mohan, to link it first, we need to have it in container, right?
Yeah, but it will not take. Let me check that. So database is the image. So now again, if I try, it will not work. The conflict contain database already used container, so it won't work. I think let's
Then why
see.
are we, I mean, database is not opening in the port, right? Then why are we
No,
giving port?
database where it won't work, but I want to check it if it is working for the port. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Actually, in the real time, we are not going to open in a browser. We have to use it, the database tool, and also we have to log into that particular container only. So currently, if I
Okay.
check Docker PS, the container is running fine. It should
Mm-hmm.
be
But I can't see this thing, no?
Docker PS -a. Let me run once again.
DB we are not seeing here.
Yeah. So it is exited. So Docker
Mm.
logs Docker rm Docker logs. No such container response. Start Docker rm. Node.js Docker. You need to specify one of the following as environment variable. So we have to set the environment variable, then only it will work. So here
-C.
minus d name database hyphen e. So we have to set the root password. Then we have to enter, sorry, docker ps hyphen a docker rm. Now this is running, but we are unable to access it. If we check the logs, see the the path is accessible to all OS users, and so it is working fine. Ready for startup. MySQL init is done. So init is going to start and it will be working fine now. But in the browser it won't work. We have to use a separate tools for that in the real time. And we can log into the Docker exec container details we have to provide. So if you go ps docker exec slash bin. So inside we have already logged in. So you can see the database as well here. Everything will be there for the database as well, application level as well. You can go inside and you can see. If you search for the running process here, ps command not found. So you can directly run the command docker exec database psc-ef runtime execution failed, unable to start container process exec. It is not working. So inside the container, so inside the container we can go and we can execute these commands. It will work. So exit docker ps. So which one I have given names web. So docker exec web hyphen it web slash bin slash bash. So we are going to inside this one and here you can find out the files. So for this one I have logged in for web application. Inside that one, whatever the files we do, we can change it and also we can find the files like cat user lib cd nginx. See here we can find out all the details about the application which we have deployed. So like that in the real time also we are going to find the logs with the docker command itself, but inside we have to log in into the container. There also we can find the logs for that particular container. And for database we can directly log in by using this command docker exec hyphen it database name mysql hyphen u root hyphen p. It will ask for the password something I have given. Pass.
Pass.
Yeah. See, now it is logged into the MySQL database. You can run the command. So any sample commands queries also we can run inside the command, and like creating MySQL database, create database, or list the user, setting up. If you check create database, uh, DevOps, if I use, so query, okay, it is started. And you can use test, use DevOps, so it will be database changed. Now if you run the command like create table, like users, with the details like in the users table, what and all integer, like id should be integer, and whatever the details if you want to provide, we can give it here. So using this one we can create, and we can provide insert, then we can use the insert command, insert info users name, and values can be like move on. You have an error in this SQL syntax. Maybe the syntax may be wrong, but these kind of we can, if you run the command show databases, it will display the databases whatever you have created. Currently, DevOps is a database which I have created. This and all like schema of the database it will display. Uh, like show tables, show these kind of commands like queries will be no for the as a MySQL users you can check it. If there is any tables created, then you can list it up. If you want insert, insert commands mainly we use as a DevOps engineer, we use insert select queries. Already tables and everything will be created by database team. So we are going to use them by mainly select queries, insert where regularly we don't use. If there is something which need to be add, then we'll use. Otherwise, only for the listing database, checking if the database is existing or not, we are going to work on that. That is how we can check it, and we can exit by queue, or else we can run exit by. That's it. So this is how we can log into the database as well by using the command. So I'll update here. So we can use this command to log in database. We can log in and we can do the any changes. Okay, like this we can log into the different containers. Uh, Even we have the multiple image and containers, we can work on that without any isolation. If you do the changes in one container, it won't affect to the another container. So Docker PS. Now what I will do, I'm going to log into the this particular container, Node.js container, my first app to Docker exec -it, my first app to /bin/bash. Unable to start container process. Okay, I will use bash only here. Hmm. Let me log into the different one. Web bin/bash. Yeah, it is working. So if you go inside here, I can create any file. For example, I will create a touch hello.html, and I will exit from here. And if I go to the Docker PS, the container, Docker exec -it.
You forgot bash.
Yeah, bash, and yesterday it was working. Now it is not working. Bash.
Mohan, don't use slash.
No. Executable file not found in path. I think yesterday we have created a Docker file, right? With a Docker file only it is created yesterday. I not created the full image. So we can check here. Cat Docker file. Docker logs. My first npm errors. Fine. Docker exec -it. My back.
Try sh.
$0. It will show, I think. Yeah, bash it is. Then why it is not working? Uh, Let me find out the issue. I'll go. Mm,
Can you try sh instead of bash?
okay. SH is working. Directly it is going to the app. So whatever we have mentioned in the
Yeah.
Docker file. So here you can't file the, you can see the only files whichever we have done in the Docker file. So Docker file we have created, right? Those files it will come and it will display Docker file, application files, and whatever the application files which we have created with the while running Docker file. That's it. I want to show like whatever the file changes we do in the different container, it won't reflect in the another container. It will be isolated. Okay. Yeah, it is a spelling use sh instead of bash. Okay. Here I'll update. So that's it about multiple images which we use. So explanation is each container has its own file system, network namespace, and process list. So it will be like everything will be separate for individual whatever we do. Installing something inside web application has no effect on database or app. Even though they are all running on the same physical or virtual machine, it will be having the different folder kind of. So you can update like in a Linux where we use different folders. Here it is container level we use in the Docker. What is container isolation? Although containers share the host's Linux kernel, Docker isolates them in several ways. So it's going to isolate in the several ways. That is file system isolation, or like files created inside one container are not visible to another. So if you create in one container, it's going to not visible in the another container. Next is process isolation. Each container has its own process list. So if you check the process running processes in the Linux server, it will be running one process, will be one container will be having the different process, another will be having the different process. See here it is showing npm start node.js, this and all it is there. If you check the running processes, and same if you go docker exec web, I will go web. Here if I check ps-ef, ps command not found here. Apt install news. Okay, ps is not available here. ps-ef. So if the process is running, then it will display for each, it will be different. Exec. Next is network isolation. Containers communicate through Docker networking instead of sharing the host network directly. So, if you know, like you should have the get the question. Even if you are not connecting one container to another container, how the data will connect between the containers. So that is the main topic of Docker. We call it Docker networking. So Docker networking, it's going to we have the different networks in the Docker. By using the different networks, we will connect from one container to another container. So it's going to it is not going to share the network directly, but we use a networking concept and we'll connect from one container to another container. Next is environment isolation. Environment variables are scoped to the individual container. We are going to use a separate environment variable for the individual containers here. So this I told, right, Docker networking, that we are going to discuss maybe in the next or another class. That will be networking and volumes. It will be depth concept we will discuss. This isolation is implemented using Linux namespaces and CG groups. So Linux namespace is nothing but the group which we are going to consider separately, and based on that it's going to container do the isolation as well. In the Kubernetes we use namespaces to make it as a group. Even in the Git we know we already we will make the organization, only within organization we can see and others cannot see, and groups if we do only group access will be there, like that here we do the isolations for the containers. Next is packaging a customized container. So customized container we are going to package mainly the Docker we are going to use to make it containerize the application. So here we use mainly from the existing container, we are going to customize it and interactively. Then we are going to save your changes as a brand new image. So for example, you already created image, you do the changes, then again you are going to save the changes as a new brand image. This is done with a Docker commit. So whatever the changes you done, you can do it, and after that you have to do the Docker commit to make the changes to the particular image, and then you can commit the image. A quick way to snapshot a container's current file system into an image. So the particular container file system, we are going to make a snapshot. So you should know the snapshot is nothing but the copy of the particular container or particular server. In the even in the AWS we call it snapshot. That is a copy which we are going to take complete data of a server into a new volume. That one we can use and create a new instance. Like that we are going to make a snapshot of containers current file system into a image. All the data of container, we are going to take it and we are going to create a new image. Docker files are still the recommended approach for anything you will maintain long term. So Docker file mainly we are going to use this kind of approach, but this is making containers is the another one which we can do, but Docker file we are going to use regularly. So I have mentioned as a section 14 because Docker file we have already discussed as a basic one, but in the real time how we are going to use in depth we are going to discuss in the upcoming session. So this is a command you can see Ubuntu container. We are going to start customized Ubuntu bash. So it is going to run it by using Ubuntu machine and container name is customized Ubuntu and bash. So directly it is started and logged into that, and inside that one I'm going to install curl vim git everything and exit. So commit the customized container into a new image. So for that one we can use docker commit customized Ubuntu, and this one is name of the image, and then we are going to do this particular one docker commits. So where we are doing this one, we are pushing to docker hub. So confirm the new image exists and run a container from it by using docker images, and same running this one. Let's check how it will work now. So now I will do docker ps. I will stop all the containers. Web, my first app, then docker database. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I will create a new container with a new image. By default, with a single command, we can pull the image Ubuntu and then create a container with a particular image by using bash. So unable to find image local in the locally. If the image is there in locally, then it will take it. Otherwise, it's going to pull it from Docker Hub. Now, if you check Docker images, okay, sorry. Did you observe why this command is failing now?
Because you're in root.
Root is fine. Even here also I'm in root only. See here the change. What is there above in the what is
IP
there here?
number.
So here I'm in the Linux instance, my AWS server. Here I'm in inside the container. Okay, I'm inside the container. This particular image, it is created a container, and also inside I went bash I have given, right. It is already created. Three things has done here. One is image pulled, then container created, then logged into that particular container. By using single command, we can do that. Next is I'm going to update and install curl vim git. So I'm going to use this one. Before going to use that one, I will check whether vim is available or not. Vim hello.txt, vim command not found. Okay. Next git hyphen v. Git command also not found. Now what I will do, I am going to install all these packages, the single command apt-get update, apt-get install, perl vim git. So please select the geographic area which you will live. So I can select 9 time zone. What and all it is showing. I'll take 8. So it is downloading the packages. Now if I check git -v, so git is installed, right? In this one, I'm going to do now, exit from the Docker container. So which Docker container it is? Docker PS, it is not there. Docker, because I have exited. Went inside and exited. So it will be showing as a stop. PS-a, which one? Ubuntu. This container I have created. Now I am going to make it as a new image. So I will take it, Docker, customize, Docker commit, sorry, Docker commit, this particular image name, Ubuntu with tools 1.0. Let's see what it will happen. I have given Docker commit now. So it is created. Now I'll check Docker images. See, Ubuntu with tools 476 MB. Here this one is 160 MB. Now I'm going to content size also changed. Docker PS, nothing is here. Now what I'm going to do, I will create new image, the this particular one, Docker run hyphen name, Ubuntu updated. I'll give with latest. So we have to use Docker run -it hyphen name. I have given container name. If you don't give any name, it will directly create. But I am giving this one. It is created Docker hyphen t. If I check inside the container directly, I am inside the container now. Previously it was showing, right, git -v. So it is already showing. Normally if you create a new image, it won't show anything because it won't install. Now I have created a container with the help of updated version of Ubuntu, which has already saved everything. So I am able to run the commands vm hello.txt. I am able to run these commands because it is already updated with another image. So like this, we can do the changes into particular image and then you can commit it. So docker ps -a. So this is the one which I have pulled the Docker image and then I have created a updated one with this one. So all the changes I have already committed. Everything will be present in that one. So we can make it as a container is the application as a custom one. Customized container we can make it by doing the command docker commit command. So this is how we can check it. Understood, right? Any queries on this? Because docker commit and docker file will be similar, but docker commit we are going to use a simple purpose like a quick manual like just for simple commands or simple updates which we require, then we use Docker commit. But if you do major changes with the applications level, every day we are going to do, then we use Docker file. It is a repeatable, version controlled, and reviewable. So each and every version we are going to store it as a images 1.0, 2.0 like that, and we will maintain the versions of that particular image. And reviewable, always prefer this for anything shared with the team. So mainly we are going to use a Docker file whenever we do major changes, but Docker commit just for a sample, any single changes, then we use a Docker commit. In real time, mainly we use Docker file only. Okay. Next is container commands with Docker. So mainly we have already discussed same commands, Docker container commands. It will be like containers move through a predictable lifecycle, created, running, optionally paused, stopped, and eventually removed. Only these commands which we use the Docker containers. Knowing the commands for each state is core to daily Docker work. So mainly we should know all these commands and also the status of the Docker containers. So how it will run? First you will create a container. It will be in the running, and it will be go to the post. Then it will be stopped. Then removed. If you remove the container. So these are the main container commands which we use. Create image. Docker create image. Create a container without starting. So I will show each and every command now. Docker ps -a. These are the different containers we have. I will delete all of them. Docker rm ubuntu updated. Docker. So I will keep these three. Docker ps -a. Okay, fine. Now I have a multiple images, Docker images, Docker whatever Node.js, Node Alpha, and Nginx and all. So I'm going to create a container without starting it. If you run the command Docker run, then it will go inside. But I'm going to just create Docker create container. Which one I'll create? Lower latest. I'll use demo 1.0. Node.js. So if I give this one, if I check Docker PS, it won't list because I have just created not started. PS-A, you can see here Node.js demo 1.0, this one. So this is a simple command to create a container without any further action. And if you want to start that container which has created now, so you can use Docker start container ID you can give, or you can give the name. Now if I check Docker PS, it will be still not running. So it is started but exited because I have not given any port and all for that. That's why it is exiting. Docker images, Docker create. So it is going to exit immediately as it is not started. So we can do the Docker start. So it is throwing the errors. That's why it is not starting properly. Docker logs where you can check it, the details. Hello from Docker. This message shows that your installation appear working correctly. If I check another one, docker ps-a docker logs. So npm command not found. That's why it is showing error. So I will remove that image first. We are facing that issue. Docker rm array. Docker ps-a docker start docker ps. See, now it is running. So like that we can start the container, stop the container by using start command, start and pause. If you want to pause it, just freeze all the process in a container. Then you can use pause. Just for it will be in the paused state. If you use pause and the container name, then it will be in the paused state. See Docker PS, it will be here created status is up 28 seconds. Now it is in paused state. Previously it was showing the code details. Status it will be like this. Here it is paused now. If you want to make it again start unpause, then you can use unpause command. So pause and unpause. This is also important command in the not in real time, but in the interviews you are going to get these questions. How can you pause a container? How to start a container? How to stop, kill, this and all we are going to get in the interview purpose only. Docker kill is force stop a container immediately. So the particular container is stopping, unable to stop, then you can use the kill command. It will immediately stop it forcefully. Then a restart. So if you want to restart a container, then you can use. So this one is currently it is starting, not in stop, but I want to restart it, then I can use restart container id. If I check docker ps up 2 seconds. Created is about a minute ago. Status is up from last 2 seconds only. Like that, you can restart the container. In real time, also we will do the restarts. If something has changed and it should be affected, then we do the restarts as well. So we should know these commands: start, stop, pause, unpause, restart, kill. Then Docker RM, so which we have already discussed. Removing a container, we can use docker rm container id or name, and it should be stopped, then only we can able to stop delete the sorry, stop the container. If it is stopped, then only you can delete the container. If it is not stopped, if you want to delete it forcibly, then you can use rm-f. So now this particular container is running, I want to delete it. If I run the command docker rm container id, it won't delete. So cannot remove container. Container is running. Stop the container before removing or force remove. If you can use the force removal, for that one rm-f. Like this you can do. Now it is not running. It will be not available in the stopped state also because I have deleted it permanently. Okay, these are the commands which we can use it. I have provided hands-on example as well. Create, start, pause, unpause, stop, everything. Next is exec versus attach. So exec mainly we are going to use to run a brand new process inside a running container. So if you want to go inside a container, then we use exec. That is the most common when we every day we are going to use to open a shell or run a on off one of the command. inside the container, then we use exec. Then docker attach, it is instead connects your terminal directly to the container's main process. So process ID 1, it can be any process ID. It's going to connect to that particular process. Useful for watching its live output, but risky since processing control C can stop that main process. So if you want to go to the particular process, the main process, then you can use docker attach. And if you want to go inside the container and run any commands, then you use docker exec. So docker exec we have already discussed multiple times. Now let me check on attach. So container is not running. I will go and start any one of the container here. I will start this container, not this. Docker ex start first. Start web. So docker ps. So I want to go inside as usual. Exec-it web bash. So I am going to inside the container and here I can run any commands like ls, cd, pwd, these commands. Okay, sorry. So exec regularly we use to go inside and we can run any commands and we can see the files. And the same which we are going to use docker attach. How we can use docker attach web. It is going to inside of any top process which is running inside the container. So currently I think there is no container running. Let me see. See work process exiting. So if you use control C it will exit. Otherwise it will be checking for the any running processor. So now I am going to check docker ps. I have given exit here in the running process. That's why it is exited the container as well. ps-a. See, docker start web. Now I will go again by using exec. Here I will run a command ps-ef. ps command not found. Okay, I'll do one thing. Docker ps-a docker start my first app to docker exec-it my first app sh. So currently these are running a process. I will exit from here. Docker ps docker attach. After giving the attach, we have to provide the name of container. It will check for the process. If there is any top process, then it will connect. Otherwise, it will be keep running. If you give the control C, it will exit. That is about attach command. We rarely use attach, but exec is a main command we regularly use with a docker. Okay, that's it for today. I think we have discussed till now. We have discussed about working with multiple images, then working with containerization, packaging a customized container. Then we have discussed about container commands with the Docker. That is about today. So tomorrow we are going to start with a working with base images and other examples and also pushing Docker hub and all. We are going to discuss deeply. Then we will go for the main Docker file as well. In another 1 or 2 classes, we are going to complete the Docker session. Thank you.